One of the questions we often get asked is, Bridget, what are all the incentives that we can use as a first-time home buyer? Great question. Let's get into that. There are 5 incentives that you can use as a first-time home buyer. Let's go through all of them. Number 1, the home buyer's plan. The home buyer's plan means that you can withdraw up to $60,000 from your registered retirement savings plan tax-free and use it to buy your first home or for anybody who has not owned a home in the last 4 years. The requirements are that you must be buying this property as your primary residence and be able to move in within 1 year, and that you have to pay the RSPs within 15 years. One popular question that I get asked is, Bridget, what does it mean not have owned a property in the last 4 years? Great question. So what it means is, if you owned a home, let's say in the past, and you sold it back in 2010, and you're thinking of buying a home right now in 2025, you can use the home buyer's plan. Or if you owned a home in the past and you sold it back in 2020, and you moved in with your friends, family, or rented and not have owned a home in the last 4 years, and you're thinking of buying right now in 2025, then you can use the home buyer's plan. The maximum amount that you can withdraw for the home buyer's plan is $60,000. And if you're buying it as a couple, the maximum is $120,000 tax-free to use to purchase your first home. The second incentive is the First Home Savings Account, also known as FHSA, which was introduced back in 2023, and it's a mix of RSPs and TFSAs. You can save up to $8,000 annually, up to a maximum of $40,000. You can withdraw the $40,000 tax-free to buy your first home. To qualify for the FHSA, you need to be a first-time home buyer, so never purchase your home and this will be your first home, or never have owned a home in the last 4 years. One question that I get asked is, Bridget, should we use home buyer's plan or first home savings account? Great question. You can use both. So you can use the home buyer's plan and the FHSA, $60,000 plus $40,000, giving you $100,000 tax-free, which means you don't pay taxes when you withdraw it to buy your home. If you're buying it with a partner, that adds up to $200,000 tax-free. And who doesn't like that? The third incentive is the first-time home buyer's tax credit. The first-time home buyer's tax credit is to help you with closing costs, like what you paid at closing, like legal fees and lawyer fees. You can claim up to 15% from $10,000, which means when you file your taxes, you get $1,500 back as credit. In order to qualify for the first-time home buyer's tax credit is that you need to be a first-time home buyer or never have owned a home in the last 4 years. The next 2 incentives is different from the first 3 that we just reviewed, and it's different based on the requirement, and that is the Ontario Land Transfer Tax and the Toronto Land Transfer Tax. Let's review them. The Ontario Land Transfer Tax means that you pay taxes for any property purchased anywhere in Ontario, and as a first-time home buyer, you can get a rebate of up to $4,000. This is where it changes from the first 3 incentives. In order for you to qualify for this rebate, you need to be a true first-time home buyer. So what does that mean? Never, ever have owned any property anywhere in the world. There is also the Toronto Land Transfer Tax because Toronto likes to be special. So when you buy a property in Toronto, you pay both Ontario and Toronto Land Transfer Tax. And the rebate that you can get in Toronto is $4,475. As an example, let's say you're purchasing a property in Toronto for $500,000, then you'll be claiming both rebates, Ontario Land Transfer Tax and Toronto Land Transfer Tax, which is combined up to $8,475 that you get back. The requirement is the same as Ontario. In order for you to qualify for the rebate in Toronto, you need to be a true first-time home buyer, which means never ever have owned a home anywhere in the world. I like to share a pro tip when it comes to these incentives. The first 3 incentives is done by you. The Ontario Land Transfer Tax and Toronto Land Transfer Tax is different because this incentive is automatically done by your lawyer. Your lawyer is going to ask you, Mr. Buyer, are you a first-time home buyer? And if you are, your lawyer is going to ask you, sign here so I can get this instant rebate at closing. In case you don't get this at closing because lawyers make mistakes, you have 18 months to file this rebate with the Ministry of Finance. Another great question that I get asked from most of my clients is, Bridget, can we combine all these incentives? And the answer is yes, yes, yes. You should be combining and using all of them as a first-time home buyer or for anybody who has not owned a home for the last 4 years. This has been another GT Homes exclusive. Remember to subscribe and to visit us at gtahomes.com.